Hey guys, Jessica Ruffin and NBC Sports' Steve Letarte here from NASCAR Fantasy Fastlane. We're heading to Indianapolis this week. It's the last race of the regular season. Steve, a lot of these guys are in win or miss the playoff situations. So how does that affect your lineup heading into the weekend?
Well, you mentioned those guys on the outside looking in. They're going to have to gamble. But my concern is the guys inside the playoffs, Jessica, they're going to gamble as well. Why not? It's all about playoff points. So other than maybe Jimmy Johnson and Alex Bowman, I don't know anyone that's going to be on a conservative path. So I think you just have to really pay attention. If one of those drivers gamble early and make a complete mistake during the race, put those guys in your garage, maybe you can recover.
Well, we've also seen a lot of variety. The 7 of the last 8 winners have been different. So how does that impact your lineup heading into Indianapolis this weekend?
Well, when you look at those numbers, you would think we should be up for another different winner when it comes to the Brickyard, but I don't think that's going to be the case this year. When you look at the different winners, they are the big name, the who's who of NASCAR. I mean, Jeff Gordon's on the list. Jimmy Johnson's on the list. Kyle Busch, though, he's won twice, and I actually think he's the favorite again. If you go back to last year's race, he was dominant until the 78 and the 18 had their accident. So I think it's been a variety of reasons that we've seen such a variety of winners, but I don't think it continues. I look at one of the big 3 to run great this weekend.
Well, you mentioned the big 3. I know the question is every week, who do you play of the big 3? Do you have any usages left as the big 3? Do you have any usages left?
Well, I have one driver I could use. And listen, I'm out at Kyle Busch. If I could redo it, I wouldn't have played him at Darlington. I've been out of Kevin Harvick for quite a while. No usages there. I only have Martin Truex Jr. left, and he will absolutely be in my lineup.
Well, a lot of fantasy players don't have any of those big 3 usages left, so that's why we have Hot Lap with Letarte to get you guys some of those picks in. So we're going to start with Joey Logano.
Well, he's absolutely a start with 5 straight top 10 finishes in Indianapolis and an average finish almost in 5th at 5.2 in that stretch. That's the type of consistency I need.
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson, just like Joey Logano, is a start as well. He has 3 top 10s in 4 Indianapolis starts, and he dominated at Darlington, leading an unbelievable 284 laps.
Darlington winner, Brad Keselowski.
Well, Brad K, talk about momentum. Brad is going to have momentum. He won at Darlington, and I think he's going to run good at Indianapolis as well. He was runner-up at the Brickyard last year, and 4 top 10s in 8 starts, 50% of the time inside the top 10.
Matt Kenseth.
Matt Kenseth, a veteran for sure, and you would think that he's the type of guy that would run good at the Brickyard, but I do have some concerns. That's why he'll be in my garage. He has 5 straight top 10s at the Brickyard with an average finish of 4.6, but you have to remember, that stretch was in Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment. Now he's at Roush Fenway.
Daniel Suarez.
Well, we just mentioned Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment when it came to Matt Kenseth, and that's why I'm going to start Daniel Suarez at the Brickyard. His only finish at the Brickyard was a 7th inside the top 10. He's been in top 10 of all of his Indy starts when you go back to Xfinity as well, so it seems like that track suits him.
Well, much like the Southern 500 of Darlington, Indianapolis is one of those races that racers and teams just want to win at. It's one of the crown jewels of the sport, and they've moved it this year. It's a different time slot. So does that have any impact, and what are some of the keys to getting around here?
Well, I think the move in the schedule later into the summer is going to have a big change in Indianapolis. That place, while it is a 2.5-mile super speedway in my mind, one of the fastest tracks we go to, the temperature of the surface definitely affects the handling. But I think more important than the weather is the pressure. You mentioned it. It's a crown jewel. Darlington has Brad Keselowski barely touching the ground as he walks around anymore. He has that momentum heading into the playoffs. The question is, will another driver strike and get that momentum? Will Kyle Larson battle back from that disappointment last week? Could he go to victory lane? One of these drivers wins a crown jewel, I think will be poised to make a playoff run.
Well, who do you think can get that crown jewel win this weekend?
Well, I wish I could tell you it was going to be a new winner like William Byron, but unfortunately in my mind, it's Kyle Busch. You saw that he's the only driver in the last 8 years to have won 2 Brickyards. I think he gets his 3rd Brickyard this weekend.
Let's see if 3rd time's a charm for Kyle Busch and the number 18 team this weekend at Indianapolis. Be sure you guys set your lineups. Tweet Steve and I with any questions. If you want some cool NASCAR gear like Steve and I have on, you can look at the link below and get your gear there. And be sure you guys tune into the race Sunday, 2 p.m. on NBCSN.